In the tranquil town of Eldermore, nestled between winding rivers and tall oaks, lived a young man named Eric. He was intelligent, diligent, and warm-hearted. From a young age, he excelled in his studies, impressed his teachers with clever insights, and helped his neighbors when they needed a hand. People often said, "That boy has a bright future." But Eric had one glaring flaw. He lacked respect in his daily interactions. It wasn't that he meant harm. In fact, he never even realized the weight of his words or the sharpness of his tone. He interrupted his elders, brushed off the small kindnesses of life, and sometimes spoke bluntly, even rudely without noticing. His teachers often reminded him, manners matter just as much as grades, but Eric would nod absent-mindedly, not truly listening. At home, his parents frequently sat him down. His father once said, "Son, a true gentleman is known not by his talents, but by how he treats others." Eric, however, believed otherwise. He thought respect was just about using polite words like please or thank you, and nothing more. To him, success came from intelligence and hard work, not from how he made people feel. All of that changed one day at the town library, the meeting that changed everything. It was a quiet afternoon. Eric was browsing books on leadership and ambition, dreaming about his future career. As he turned a corner, he noticed an elderly man sitting alone, reading a thick leather-bound book. His posture was straight, and his expression peaceful, yet strong. There was something dignified about him. Curious, Arin picked a book nearby and sat at a nearby table. A few moments later, the man closed his book, looked at Arin and said, "You seem deep in thought, young man." Eric nodded. "I'm reading about what makes someone successful." The man smiled. "And what have you found so far?" "I think intelligence and determination are the keys," Arin replied confidently. The old man chuckled, then said, "My name is Mr. Raishan, and I was once a judge. Let me share with you something I've learned over decades, not from books, but from life itself. Greatness is not measured by knowledge or power. It is measured by the respect you give to others." Eric raised an eyebrow. "Respect?" "Yes," Mr. Raishan nodded. "Let me tell you a story. The tale of two brothers. Long ago, in a quiet village near the sea, lived two brothers, Rayan and Arin. Rayan, the elder, was known for his humility and wisdom. He was hardworking, intelligent, and always spoke with kindness. Arin, the younger, was ambitious, clever, and filled with energy, but often brash and disrespectful. Their father, a well-respected merchant named Kavi, saw both their strengths and flaws. One day he called his sons and said, "I am getting old, and soon one of you will inherit all that I have. I will give each of you 10 gold coins. Go to the market and spend them however you like. Your choices will help me decide who is ready to carry on my legacy." Arin was thrilled. "I'll buy the finest clothes and show everyone what power looks like," he declared. Rayan, as always, simply nodded and went on his way. At the marketplace, Arin did exactly as he planned. He bought fancy robes, dined at the best stalls, and flaunted his wealth. He laughed loudly, dismissed the poor, and mocked the vendors for their simple ways. "Gold makes a man great," he proclaimed. Rayan, on the other hand, spent the day observing people. He noticed a struggling fruit seller and bought her entire cart so she could rest for the day. He visited an old man selling books no one wanted, paid full price, and asked about his stories. He bought warm meals for beggars and always said, "Thank you," no matter how small the gesture. Years passed. When Kavi grew ill, he summoned the villagers to his home and said, "Today I shall name my successor." Arin stepped forward proudly. "Father, I've proven my ability. I understand the world. I know how to command attention and make money." Rayan stood quietly. Kavi turned to the villagers and asked, "Whom do you respect more, Rayan or Arin?" Without hesitation, the people replied, "Rayan. He listens to us. He helps without asking for anything in return. He treats everyone, rich or poor, with kindness. Kabi smiled. My son, Arin, power may impress, but it is respect that endures. Ryan has earned not just gold, but hearts. That is true wealth, and that is the kind of man who will carry on my legacy. Eric's transformation. Eric sat in silence, the story echoing in his heart. Mr. Rishan leaned in and said softly, "Do you see now, son? Respect is not about titles. It's how you make others feel. Let me share with you 10 habits that define a respectful man." He then listed them. 1. Listen more, speak less. 2. Use kind words. 3. Respect everyone. Practice gratitude. 5. Control your anger. 6. Be honest and keep your word. 7. Respect women deeply. 8. Honor elders. 9. Help others without expecting anything. 10. Carry yourself with dignity. Eric decided to change. At first, the changes were small. He held doors, thanked janitors, and waited his turn in conversations. But slowly, everything began to shift. His classmates looked surprised at first. His teachers took notice. His parents watched with quiet joy. In time, Eric became more than just a smart boy in town. He became the respected one. Years later, when Eric became a leader in his community, people often asked, "What is the secret to your success?" He always answered with a warm smile. Respect is not something you demand. It's something you earn through kindness, humility, and grace. People may forget your titles or wealth, but they will never forget how you made them feel. Final reflection. Being a respectful man isn't about perfection. It's about effort, and that effort begins today. Start with one decision: to listen more, to speak with kindness, to act with dignity. Because in the end, the true measure of a man lies not in what he has, but in how he treats others.